You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're addicted to destroying yourself. And the worst part? You don't even know it. There's a mechanism inside your brain that sabotages every chance you have to grow. And that mechanism, you built it yourself. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what happens inside your brain when you stop self-sabotaging. This isn't theory. This isn't cheap self-help. This is neuroscience translated into brutal truth. Truth that most people don't have the guts to hear all the way through. If you're watching this right now, part of you already knows you're wasting your potential. Part of you is exhausted from making promises you don't keep. That part of you is right. And today, it's finally going to understand why all of this keeps happening. You've mapped out the perfect plan. You've gotten fired up about an idea at 11 at night. You've told yourself Monday would be different. You believed it this time. And then, same cycle, same crash, same feeling of being too weak to live the life you want. That feeling has a name. It's called the self-sabotage loop. And it doesn't start when you quit. It starts way before that. It starts the moment you choose comfort over growth. It starts the second you choose distraction over the action that scares you. Your brain isn't your enemy by accident. It was trained by you. Every time you avoided discomfort, you taught your brain one lesson: running is safe. And now it does it automatically, before you even realize you were running in the first place. You hear that inner voice that says, later, tomorrow, when I'm ready. That voice isn't wisdom. It's your nervous system protecting an ego that's terrified of trying and failing. It's your mind choosing the illusion of control over the reality of growth. And the price? You pay it every single day. In the job you hate but won't leave. In the body you neglect but won't fix. In the empty relationship you stay in out of fear. You're paying with your entire life. In silent installments nobody sees but you feel. The part that hurts most? You know you're capable. Deep down you know. You've seen it in yourself. Moments of clarity, of strength, of real drive. But those moments disappear too fast, and you don't understand why. Not yet. But you're about to. Science already knows what happens in the brain during self-sabotage. When you avoid a hard task, the amygdala, the primitive part of your brain, fires as if there's a real threat. Your body floods with cortisol. You enter survival mode, and action freezes completely. This isn't weakness. It's misdirected biology. The problem is your brain can't tell the difference between fear of a predator and fear of sending that important email. To your brain, both are threats. And the response is always the same: avoid, procrastinate, retreat to comfort. But here's what's worse. Every time you give in to that fear, the circuit gets stronger. Neuroscience calls it negative neural plasticity. In plain language, you are sculpting a brain that specializes in quitting. Every escape is a lesson for your own nervous system. And the prefrontal cortex, the rational part, the part that plans, the part that makes you human, gets suppressed. Literally shut down by the amygdala under perceived threat. That's why you know what you need to do, but don't do it. It's not lack of intelligence. It's neurological hijacking. Now, do you understand why motivation alone doesn't work? You get excited, the prefrontal cortex lights up, everything feels possible. But when the moment comes, the amygdala takes over, and the motivation vanishes. Because motivation is emotion, and emotion doesn't govern long-term behavior. What governs behavior is habit. What governs behavior is the neural circuit you've repeated hundreds of times. That's why disciplined people don't feel motivated all the time. They simply built neural pathways so deep that action happens before feeling ever arrives. And here's the reality nobody tells you. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to want it. You need to act first. The feeling comes after. The confidence comes after. The identity of a disciplined person comes after the action, never before it. Every second you wait to feel ready, your competition acts without feeling ready. Every morning you delay, someone who also didn't want to get up, got up. The gap between you and who you want to be isn't talent, isn't luck. It's how many times they acted scared and you didn't. But here the story changes. Because the same neuroplasticity that locked you in this cycle can break you out of it. The same mechanism that trained your brain to retreat can train it to advance. The tool is identical. The only thing that changes is who's in control. When you act despite the fear, something shifts in the brain. The amygdala receives new information. The danger didn't materialize. You survived, and the fear circuit weakens, not all at once. But with each repetition, resistance shrinks. With each action, the path gets easier. Dopamine, the reward neurotransmitter, isn't released when you win. It's released when you progress. When you take one step toward a difficult goal, your brain rewards you. Not with pleasure, with purpose. And purpose is more powerful than any immediate gratification you've ever chased. This is what happens when you stop self-sabotaging. Your brain starts working for you instead of against you. The amygdala recalibrates. The prefrontal cortex takes command. And you start making decisions aligned with who you want to be, not who your fear needs you to stay. If you've made it this far, you know this conversation is different. And you know you need more than insight. You need a system. I built the Mental Armor Protocol, 21 days to eliminate procrastination and build absolute discipline. The link is in the description. Straight to the point. No filler. The protocol exists because motivation isn't enough. You need structure. A process that rewires the neural circuit day by day. No dependence on mood, no dependence on inspiration. 21 days is the minimum time frame neuroscience identifies to establish a new automatic pathway. But let's come back. The turning point isn't an event. There's no day you wake up transformed. The turning point is a sequence of small, ugly, uncomfortable choices that nobody witnesses. It's the accumulation of moments where you chose to act when everything in you screamed to stop. There's a concept called the decision window. You have approximately 5 seconds after forming an intention before your brain starts building reasons not to act. 5 seconds. That's where winners and losers separate. Not in epic moments, in 5 seconds of ordinary life. So here's the plan. It's not complex. What works never is. Step 1. Identify your escape pattern. What behavior do you repeat when discomfort hits? Phone, food, binge watching, gaming? That pattern has a trigger, and you need to know exactly what it is. Step 2. Replace the escape behavior with a 2-minute action toward what you're avoiding. Not the whole task. 2 minutes. The brain doesn't resist 2 minutes. And once you've started, momentum takes over completely. Starting is everything. Starting is the entire battle. Step 3. Eliminate morning decisions. Winners don't decide what to do when they wake up. They decided the night before. Clothes laid out. Workout planned. Most important task already locked in. When the brain doesn't need to decide, it doesn't burn energy resisting. It just executes. Step 4. Protect your first 2 hours like your life depends on it. Because it does. The first 2 hours set the mental state for the entire rest of the day. No social media, no notifications, no other people's problems. Just you and the one task that matters most. Step 5. Build what I call an identity anchor. Every time you complete something hard, tell yourself, this is what people like me do. This isn't a positive affirmation. It's identity reprogramming. The brain acts in line with who it believes you already are. Step 6. Expose yourself to controlled discomfort every single day. Cold showers, waking up earlier, training when you don't want to. This isn't punishment. It's amygdala calibration. It's you teaching your nervous system that discomfort isn't danger. It's the signal for growth. Step 7. Track your daily progress with brutal honesty. Not to punish yourself, to build evidence. Your brain believes what it sees repeatedly. When you record 10 consecutive days of action, it starts constructing a new narrative about who you are. Proof changes everything. Step 8, and the most important, accept that you will fail. Not if you fail, when. The difference between those who change and those who don't isn't who never falls. It's who gets back up fastest. A relapse doesn't erase progress. Abandoning after the relapse does. Imagine waking up knowing what needs to be done and just doing it. No internal battle. No 5 rounds of negotiation with yourself. Not because you became a robot, but because you trained your brain to see action as the path of least resistance. That's the shift. When you stop self-sabotaging, the internal silence changes. That voice that said, "You can't do this," starts losing volume. It doesn't vanish overnight, but it loses power with every completed action. And eventually, it becomes what it always was, an old echo of a version of you that no longer exists. The people around you will notice, not because you announce it, but because discipline has a physical presence. It changes your posture, changes your gaze, changes the weight behind your voice. You start occupying the space that was always yours, the one you never had the courage to fully claim. And one day, not today, not tomorrow, but a day you will never forget, you'll look back and see the distance you've traveled. And you'll understand that the only thing standing between you and that version of yourself was you. Choosing the comfort of familiar pain over the discomfort of growth. This video wasn't made for people who want to feel good. It was made for people who want to actually change. If you made it here, you have one obligation: subscribe to this channel, like this video, and send it to someone still trapped in the loop. Now tell me in the comments, what are you changing starting today?